Welcome to Section 420, Talkin Yankees, the podcast. Well, we had the big weekend showdown against the Los Angeles Dodgers. Dodgers Blue came into town. They actually kind of invaded the Yankees name a little bit. So the series kind of went the Dodgers' way 2-1, but again, overall, I'd say it was a good, solid series, just entertaining from a fan perspective. And of course, Yankees getting the good news that he looks like Juan Soto likely only going to be out a couple of days, and he wasn't available during this Dodgers series there, but again, nothing serious, no IL at this point. Again, with the inflammation in his forearm there, I guess it looks like they shut him down for a few days, and that's all it's going to be. So, again, overall, you take those considerations. Yeah, you would like to beat the Dodgers. You would like to sweep the Dodgers. But to kind of salvage the last game there and avoid the sweep, that plus the Soto news, I'll kind of take it for par right there. So, we'll kind of just look back at the series, the highs and lows. And, of course, the Yankees now got a little road trip coming ahead of them, so I'll get you previewed on that. But before you get started, make sure you subscribe to this podcast, Section 420 Talkin Yankees. Get cool episodes like this, little recaps and whatnot throughout the season. Talk some injuries, talk some big series showdowns like this, or maybe after the Subway Series, for example, even though the Mets are kind of lowly right now. But nevertheless, you have to be an audio podcast subscriber, so go to YouTube, Section 420 Talkin Yankees, there as well. Get the visual version of the show. Not updated as frequently, but you want to make sure you're a subscriber there. So this is the kind of the weekend we've all been looking for. I mean, as soon as they announced the schedule, all three games got sold out immediately. And it was almost everything you could ask for. It was, summer weather in the Bronx, 3 amazingly weathered days. All three games pretty much sold out. I mean, every seat had a fanny in it. And the Yankees were Dodgers able to spread the wealth. Of course, you had a plethora of stars on both sides there. Unfortunately, Soto would have made it more interesting. I think maybe if Soto was in this one, it would have been the Yankees maybe taking the series 2-1 versus losing the series. Or maybe the Yankees could have swept all three. Who knows? But the Yankees didn't have Soto available for all three games. But still, it was entertaining enough. You still had enough big stars, and you even had Judge kind of making up and more some without having Soto around going there with the long ball. And obviously the TV people did it as well. They spread the wealth. You had the opening game on Yes, and then of course Fox got the Saturday night game, and then of course ESPN gets the Sunday night baseball game. So again, everyone get a little piece of the pie there of the large audience that you will see with Yankees Dodgers. And even Yes announces that it was their second largest telecast of the season, only second to I guess that would be the opening day there against Houston on the 31st. So again, a big audience, big lot of eyes on the series. And again, the Dodge Blue, they came in, they kind of invaded Yankee Stadium a little bit. There was a lot of blue there all throughout the stadium, which you feel is going to happen. Get both organizations travel well, and the Yankees out there, you got a whole load of Yankee fans also. But unfortunately, you just wish you really had Juan Soto. And I guess let's dive into that first. The last episode here, I mentioned that if I decided to, lick my finger and put it in the air, it just seemed like, he was going to go on the IL, and here's a guy who hasn't been on the IL in almost 3 years, seemed durable. Again, if you talk about a forearm, okay, it's just more of like a muscle issue, doesn't seem terrible. And again, he mentioned that he was been playing with, or at least Boone mentioned, he had been playing with this for about a week with this discomfort there. So it didn't seem like it was something really hindering too much, but it got to a point where I guess they had to take him out of the Minnesota game in there, and then it just seemed like, look, if he needs a couple days off his feet and out of the field, not playing, and it didn't seem like the IL would be a possibility, nor did it seem like anything's, there was like some sort of structural damage. Again, when you're talking about the elbow, the shoulder, the wrist, that's when you kind of have to worry a little bit. I wasn't too worried about the forearm, and then as soon as I did the episode, of course, then they announced it just seems like it's a forearm strain, and he just looks like this rest a couple of days, and then he should be able to get back into the lineup. And Boone mentioned in an interview he was doing baseball activities, so even though he wasn't in the lineup for the Dodgers series, he was doing some hitting and some other sorts of drills. So he is doing baseball activities. So again, I'll take that all as a positive. It's just annoying you couldn't have him in this Dodgers series, and they really could have used him, especially in the first game. You got to mention Cody Petit stepping up there in another spot start, kind of going against Yamamoto there. He hung with him for a while. Obviously, Petit's not going to give you the distance there, but the Yankees bats, as you expected, wasn't able to do much against Yamamoto. You can kind of understand why the guy gets like $300 million or $350 million. He was really sharp. Again, Yankee offense wasn't able to much against them, but on the other end, the Yankee pitching was fabulous as well, and it was an opportunity for the Yankees really to steal this game. The betting lines, Yamamoto versus Poteet, you would have probably taken the Dodgers for that one, but again, the Yankees hung with them, and it wasn't until the 11th inning finally the Dodgers were able to break through with a couple of runs. But again, Yankees, bottom of the 10th, had an opportunity there to, of course, the ghost run and everything to take the game, and they just couldn't pull it off. Stanton got out in a big spot there. But nevertheless, the Yankees were able to scratch one run in the bottom 11th final, but unfortunately it was too little too late, and the Yankees dropped the first one 2-1. Second game, the Yankees, same thing, they hung with the Dodgers for a while. Going in, it's hard to see who's the better team. I mean, the Yankees had a couple more wins just because I think the Yankees played a couple more games, but the records were just about matched up evenly. You see a lot of power rankings. It's always Phillies, Yankees, Phillies, Dodgers, and again, these teams are very tightly contested, so I don't think, we had any arguments settled here who's the better team overall. I mean, they're kind of neck and neck. But the second game, unfortunately, the Yankee bullpen kind of faltered a little bit. Nestor kind of gave all he could. Judge with a big home run to at least tie the game at a certain point. But the Yankee bullpen, unfortunately, faltered. And, of course, he also had a big double play that could be made by Gleyber Torres. I mean, it wasn't routine there, but still a double play he could have handled there. And it just kind of the Dodgers kind of just chipped away at the Yankee bullpen. Of course, Teoscar Hernandez, who's crushed the Yankees for a number of years, even going back to his Toronto Blue Jay days, hit a huge home run in this game to get put a fat number up at the board. And unfortunately, this was probably one of the games where the Yankees really just got their butts kicked, which you haven't seen that much in a while there. But like 11-3. I mean, most games the Yankees lose games by a couple of runs there or less. But this is a game where the bullpen just got actually imploded there, and the Dodgers just teed off there. And if you're a Dodger fan who made the trip, I mean, you're in heaven. You just took the first two games. You're in Yankee Stadium. You're on the road. Where the third game now is just like gravy. If you could sweep, that'd be great. But if not, you could kind of hold your head high there. You took 2 out of 3 there. And in the last game, you would kind of be worried about the Yankees' chances a little bit. Now, look, the matchup, Luis Gil, who's been absolute fire. He's been Rookie of the Month, Player of the Month for May. Going against Tyler Glasnow. Now, Glasnow, going back to the Tampa days, Yankees could never touch this guy. So, even though Gil's been hot there, but you expect at some point, he's going to have a clunker. But that wasn't the case really here in the Yankee offense. And the Yankees offense was just able to do enough against Tyler Glasnow. Oswaldo Cabrera getting the start at third base because they finally decided to sit Rizzo, who's just been absolutely just terrible lately at the plate. A little bit in the field, but and if you want to go back to the most recent YouTube episode, I kind of highlighted Rizzo, that there's something that's wrong with him this season. Both batting a little bit with the fielding, and again the slump has been continuing with him, and finally it's got to a point where Boone had to sit him down. So to switch things up a little bit, you saw Cabrera at third base, and then moving DJ to first, give DJ your start there. Not that DJ's not going to cover off the ball himself, but you got to switch it up a little bit, and it seems to have paid off here. In that situation. And then Trent Grisham, who, hey, look, he's been getting his playing time coming on again with Soto going down. Really over this past week, 3 home runs total, and had a big one in this game with the Yankees down 3-2. Hits a big home run, and then, of course, Aaron Judge later in the game with the Yankees only up 1 run, puts an insurance home run up on the board, a big bomb to increase the Yankees' lead 6-4, and the Yankees are able to salvage a game there and avoid the sweep against the Dodgers, which, again, I don't think it would have been. Again, you wouldn't say that the Yankees stink and the Dodgers are way better. Again, all these games are pretty closely contested. Even the second game, I know the score got out of hand eventually, but again, it was tight for the most part there. And the first game, of course, you had zeros going into the 11th inning there. So, again, 2 really top-tier teams going at it, neck and neck, and the Yankees were able to hang with them. And again, if you had Soto, maybe you're talking about a different story. Maybe you're probably most likely talking about a Yankee 2-1 series win versus a 1-2 series loss there. But again, all things considered, you take the win there. You don't want to get swept there just because it just leaves a bad taste in your mouth. And for the Yankees, it was like the second maybe home series loss of the entire season, just to show how dominant they've been. And again, it's their first series loss since the kind of got their buzz kicked about a month or so ago down in Camden Yards there. I think they lost 3 out of 4. Now is a situation where you need Luis Gil to save the day, and ironically, Oswaldo Cabrera also hitting a home run in that game. I think that was one for Corbin Burns, where Yankees squeaked out a 2-0 win there just to not get swept there. So it's the Luis Gil and Oswaldo Cabrera team coming through again in this final game. So that was a series. Again, it kind of lived up to the expectations. Again, the crowds were huge. You had great weather. Couldn't have asked for anything better. And if we could get this, in the fall, hey, look, I'd sign up for it. I think it'd be a great World Series. But of course, as Boone said last night when they asked him, that's way, way, way in the future, and then a million other things could go wrong. But you just kind of wish you had Soto there. It would have been nice to have him for this series, but nevertheless. Now, he wasn't going to really, I know there were in the final game, people in the crowd would chant for Soto, and of course, Trent Grisham hit a home run anyway there in the big spot, so hey, Grisham did a little Soto impression. But Boone more or less said there wasn't really any point where he was thinking of bringing Soto off the bench in this, so Maybe it might be another game or two before you finally do see Soto. But after this, now they're going to hit the road. It's going to be 7 games in 7 days there. So, again, it's a lot of pressure on the bullpen and a lot of pressure on everybody there. You're not going to get any off days. Now, it kicks off in Kansas City, where usually in years past you would be happy to see that. But, no, the Kansas City team been a little different this year. They've actually been quite good. So, not kind of the rollover, pushover wins you're used to this marking as a W on the calendar there. So, Yankees going to have to fight for this one. And we'll just have to see if finally we get Soto back in the lineup. And how many more days is Boone going to sit down Rizzo? And if it does maybe sit down another game or two, is that kind of maybe clear his head and get him, to swing a little bit better? Because need him in his lineup. Some of the other guys are doing some good stuff. Judge is teeing off. So Stanton cooled down a little bit since the West Coast. But overall, the offense is, again, a little, I'm not going to say struggling at this point. Again, you're also facing great pitching with the Dodgers there, so you have to kind of look at that as well. But again, this home series, fine against Minnesota, but against the Dodgers there, again, the Yankee bats struggle. But there again, when you face pitchers like Yamamoto, Tyler Glasnow, even Stone there, he's no chump. It's not exactly easy there. So hopefully, again, the Yankees could kick it in a little bit there with the offense. So that's the episode. Big Dodgers series. I think it lived up to expectations. And the Yankees now go from facing the Dodgers blue to the Royals blue. Catch you next time.